Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. I'm a bit off balance today. I'm very, very excited. Welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu Daily. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I'm so excited about what I heard last night from Jason Momoa's interview. So right now, enough from me for the time being. It's over to Jason himself. Here's Jason Momoa.
To me, judging from our past conversations and others you've had, you're always going to be in debt to Zack. Zack Snyder's your
life.
Man. He changed your life.
Totally.
So is that partially why when we spoke about a year ago and I brought up the Snyder Cut, you're like, yeah, I need to see that?
Yeah, absolutely. But I have seen it, so.
I've seen
the Snyder Cut, so.
So what does that mean? Because the effects aren't done. Like, you've seen his assemblage of footage and alternate takes, etc.
Oh, do you think Zack couldn't finish it? You don't think he...
I don't know. You tell me. He's finished.
I mean, listen, man. Next question.
Do you think we'll ever see it? Do you think the public will ever see it at this point? Because it seems like it's actually the groundswell has grown. And a year ago, I would have had my doubts.
You know, I'm obviously indebted to Warner's and DC, and you know, I don't know how they feel about it, but I mean,
right.
As a fan, I'm very, very happy that I get to see it.
Does it feel like a totally different movie than the Justice League that was released? Okay. Here's hoping. Okay.
Wow. Horse and mouth. You heard it from the horse's mouth. If I hear any of you saying that this is a fabled Snyder Cut, that it doesn't exist, you are not paying attention. Jason Momoa there being interviewed, being asked about the Snyder Cut, and this interviewer having the damn cheek saying, well, the special effects ain't completed. And Jason Momoa doesn't exactly confirm it, but he doesn't deny it either. He basically says you think Zack couldn't finish it. Which does mean there are effects, there's probably music. The Snyder Cut is done. It's up to you now, Warner Brothers. All you have to do is stick it on HBO Max. All you have to do is package it in a few 100 million Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs. There are no more excuses. The Snyder Cut does exist. It is available. We can watch it. And all you have to do, Warner Brothers, is give it to us. Give it to us. We are hungry for it. We want to make you money. You know, it's time. You cannot allow that Frankenstein monster to be part of the dceu any longer. So, wow. Yes, Jason Momoa saying he has seen the Snyder Cut, which he said before, but actually confirming, and I said he didn't confirm it, he pretty much did, didn't he? He confirmed that the effects are done. It's a proper movie. Jason Momoa saw the finished cut. Music and special effects. In your face, 40 million club. I've always said I don't want to be involved with that argument, but there's no 40 million to spend because it is done. It is complete. I believe that Zack Snyder completed it himself in his own home. He's obviously got the tech. He's obviously got the computers to do it. He's done it. And for his friends and for the cast members that were interested, he played the finished cut. The finished cut of the Justice League version of the Snyder Cut. Oh boy, I wish I was Jason Momoa. Well, I wish I was Jason Momoa anyway. But he's seen it. I want to see it. You want to see it. And that should matter to a studio. It should. Because it means money. And it means, you know, what's been done with the DC movies since Justice League, since that abomination, has been great. Aquaman, Shazam, Joker. You know, it's just making money upon money upon money. God knows what it's apparently going to finish on 900 by the end of this weekend. I don't know how many more weeks it's going to be on general release. But there's still a prediction of $1 billion, which would be amazing. But $900 million is amazing. But anyway, the Snyder Cut is ready. You have heard it there. You've heard it in an interview. There's no more, is it real? Does it exist? It exists. It always existed. It was obvious it existed because we saw the reel of Zack thanking people in London, his cast, his crew. Remember that montage? Nah, you know, whatever the music was. But it's ready. It's ready to view. And there's no more excuses. Warner Brothers, do your thing. Stop holding back. If you're planning to release it, just announce it. so I can do my video where I destroy the abomination that is Justice League, that is the theatrical cut. So now I want to do a bit of a think piece about the Snyder Cut and what happened there and why it happened. And why really Warner Brothers are probably the last people to blame for it. Now that's a very controversial thing to say, isn't it? Pressure is a big thing. And you imagine being the studio who owns DC Comics, who can make any film they want. They were under so much pressure after Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad. And you've got to understand, Wonder Woman was a big success for them. So they thought, Now I said at the time, I believed that Justice League would be the last misstep of the DCEU. And I was correct. It was a misstep. Sacking Zack Snyder, getting Joss Whedon in, demanding that the film is only 2 hours or just under 2 hours. The whole thing, when I was first hearing this, I thought, this is nonsense. But it was all true. And who knows how this information gets out, but it was all true. And the Snyder Cut movement rose, and more information got out. People were telling me how they wanted to redo this film so they could all get their bonuses, rush it out. Ridiculous. If you're going to get Joss Whedon in, and we discussed this a million times before, let him do his own Justice League. The whole thing was a mess, but they were under severe pressure, and they couldn't handle it. Kevin Sugihara wasn't strong enough to say F you and let Zack Snyder make the movie he wants. Then let him go after Justice League, after he's completed his arc, his vision. That's what proper people would have done, but they didn't. There is no question about him leaving because his daughter committed suicide. Now, that would be a good enough justification for anyone to leave their job, right? But it's not the truth. Zack wanted to stay the course. Zack wanted to finish this film. Why do you think he's been pushing for it ever since? Why do you think he's been lighting the fire that will break the empire or the First Order, or whatever they say in the sequel trilogy of Star Wars? Zack Snyder has manipulated this whole movement. He has, in a good way. In a good way. He's kept us fighting. He's kept us focused. And now Jason Momoa has told us that the film is complete. There are special effects. And I'm saying today, after this week, knowing that Junkie XL has confirmed that he did finish his score, I think those people watched the film with a score, special effects, all fully edited. I believe that. That film is probably in Zack Snyder's home, on his computer, on his laptop, on his phone, whatever. It's ready to view. And what that means is, and let's be clear about this, what that means is, there's a master copy of the Snyder Cut completed, which means there's no $40 million, John Aaron Garza. Now, I noticed that John is still refusing to admit this film has been completed. In fact, on his site, and I forgot what his site was called, he's still insisting that that's not the case with hints and stuff. This is no good, John. Now, there's some people who want John and the so-called 40 Million Club to apologise. I don't need you to apologise, John. You made a statement that you believed at the time. You believed you had sources, and good for you. We all have sources. I have sources, crap sources, good sources. In fact, from those sources, I've embarrassed myself on this channel a great many times, and I've apologised for you. But it's important to get this information out there, because we are one in the same. We are fans. And if I held that back, I would have felt bad, and I would have felt I betrayed my role as a YouTuber, because predominantly I'm doing DCEU videos. And you are subscribing and watching me and putting trust in me to let you know what's going on. And I think that's right. But John Aaron Garza, it's time to admit that there's no $40 million. This film is complete. What I don't agree with is the toxicity that John and the 40 Million Club have been faced with. That is wrong. Let him keep on saying it. It doesn't matter. But John, you are not paying attention, my friend, and the rest of the 40 Million Club. It exists. It is done. It is ready to watch. What was done to Zack and his movie was disgusting. It's one of the most unprecedented events in the Hollywood entertainment industry. I've never seen anything as disgusting as this in my life. And it makes me angry. It makes me angry. I don't mind I don't mind if people call this movement a bunch of crazy religious nutters. You can call us that. But the truth is, we are passionate. We are passionate about the DCEU and the journey that Zach begun. The film was completed. It could have been released. They could have released this cut months ago, but they are refusing. How can any studio want the monstrosity that is the Justice League to be out there as the only official version of Justice League? Can you explain that to me? Can you? I don't understand. It's time, Warner Brothers. It's time, Ann Sarnoff. It's time. This is a winner for you. Release it on HBO Max. It's a platform I won't even have access to for about a year or two because I'm in Europe and I don't care. I'm sure I'll find a way of watching it. You know what I mean? Anyway, right? The point is, I want all the millions of beautiful fans out there who have beautiful souls, who just are so driven and so relentless. I see you every day on YouTube. I see you every day on Twitter. You post after post, GIFs, videos, putting trailers together. You are all so magnificent and you inspire me and you touch my heart. Because I've been a DC fan ever since I fell in love with Superman, the movie, through Superman, the movie, ever since. And if someone had effed with Richard Donner's movie, I would have been angry, so angry. And I feel, and basically, Donner wasn't allowed to finish his cut, and they did the Donner cut. But it's a very different situation, boys and girls, because Richard Donner never filmed everything he wanted. Zack has. It's ready. It's complete. There's no messing about anymore. This film can be consumed by millions of people around the world. The studio who own the rights on this film can make much money. There is no justification not to release it. Warner Brothers, you're their leader, Kevin Sujihara, who you've removed, right? Jeff Johns, who you've kind of removed him, right? I mean, he did co-write Wonder Woman 1984, and by the way, he and Patty did a great job with that film. But you did take him away from being the leader of this franchise for a reason. Because Jeff's a great writer, he's a great man, but he's not a leader of a franchise. So you've made those decisions. You've brought the fabulous, talented Ann Sarnoff to Warner Brothers. And the appointment of Walter Hamada has been pivotal. Look what's happened with Joker, Shazam, Aquaman, how he turned that monstrosity into $1 billion hit. It's not a monstrosity anymore, but it was when he first arrived on the franchise. It's up to you now, Warner Brothers. You have the power to make many, many people happy. Now, I know you don't care about that. It's all about your reputation. You made a mistake. We do not want you to come out and say you've made a mistake. By releasing the film, you are not admitting to any mistake. We want to see the film. But it goes beyond that, Warner Brothers. It really does. It's time to announce a Superman film. It's very, very important now. It's very, very important you announce a Superman film. I want to see Henry Cavill back in a Man of Steel sequel, but if that's not the direction you want to go, that's fine. We want to see a great auteur, a great writer-director, to mould 3, 4, 5 Superman films. Superman is the absolute best, and he deserves to be out there. What happened to Superman via the Justice League cut, via the theatrical cut, was disgusting. I know that Henry Cavill is deeply hurt. Now, he hasn't come out about wanting to see the cut. That's not the way he rolls. His advisors have told him not to do that. But he was deeply offended and hurt by the finished article of the theatrical version of Justice League. How would you feel? Everyone's making jokes about your image. The CG on the moustache. The whole thing was a mess. None of that had to happen if you allowed Zack to do his movie the way he wanted. There would be no CGI on the tash. There would be no cringy smiles or anything. Anything. We would have seen a proper Henry Cavill. But you disgraced the image of Superman. You disgraced the image of a wonderful man, a wonderful young actor called Henry Cavill, Look at him. Look at that beautiful bloke. Brilliant. The ultimate Superman. The ultimate Superman. I love Chris. Chris is also the ultimate Superman, but so is Henry. You know what? You defiled that man's image. He should sue you, but he hasn't got the power to, of course. So you can make up for all of this. And I'm not blaming Warner Brothers directly as a company. Kevin Tsujihara made these decisions. Jeff Johns and John Berg were there. But Kevin Tsujihara was their boss. And they all had to do as they were told. At the end of the day, it's time. It's time to forget the histrionics that I've just spoken about. It's time to release the Snyder Cut. I want you to comment down below, friends. We're friends. We support the same thing. I want you to tell me what you think about all this, the interview. Are you more confident now, more than ever, that this cut will finally, rightfully, and the justification for it to be released is there, isn't it? Do you think it's the right time? Do you think it's going to happen now? Comment down below. If you like me, if you like my channel, please, please, when you watch, like it, share it, put a headline on it. Please. I want people to see this channel because I believe this is the beginning of something special. The release of the Snyder Cut will be announced and I will snap that monstrosity right in front of you. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? So let everybody know. Let everybody know where I am. Tell them that there's a community here. And it's a special community. Because the DCEU fans are a wonderful community. The movement of release the Snyder Cut. I'm humbled by it. Humbled. It makes me so emotional. It makes me want to cry happy tears. Because what you've all done is so fucking special and unbelievable. And you're not toxic. There might be a few that spoil it. There's a few that have bullied me before. But most of us are just passionate DC fans. Passionate Superman fans, Wonder Woman fans, Batman fans. Fans of The Flash, whatever. And we just want to see Zack's vision fulfilled. And then we can move on with Walter Hamada's future plans. And we can be proud. We can look back at the DCEU and say, every film works for us. It's brilliant. Now we must remember why Zack Snyder was sacked. From Disney and Marvel interference. It's interesting, and I've discussed this before, how Captain America Civil War is literally the same film as BVS, but it gets plaudits because there's a big fight between the Avengers and there's a few jokes in between. But it's pretty much the same film. And guess what? Not one member of the Access media mentioned that. They allowed our film, our beautiful think piece, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, to be crucified. Feige had an insider. He had an insider. Feige was so intimidated by the idea of Batman v Superman film, and he admitted that. And he did everything to destabilise not only Batman v Superman, but Man of Steel. They did. And it's disgusting. Many things happened. They're not happening anymore. Because in Walter Hamada and Ann Sarnoff, we have leaders, bureaucratic leaders who understand how you do things, how you create, how you put the right people in charge. There are so many reasons that we've only got the Justice League cut of Justice League. And they are the reasons. And there's many more. You know them, and I know them. We all know the truth. What happened was so unjust, so unfair. And it's time, Warner Brothers, it's time to release the Snyder Cut.